How do you deal with the death of your parrot? Hi, I'm Kaylin, the author of the Parrot Bliss Bond. Please be sure to get your copy on Amazon.com so that you know how to keep a happy and healthy parrot for as long as possible. And I'm also the bringer to you of TINK'S CBD oil, the parrot relief, to help so that if your parrot is at the end and having some pain, the CBD oil can help with that and hopefully reduce some pain. I've had a couple people say that they've lost their parrot, and someone today asked me if I've done a video on how to deal with it. Now, this is going to be interesting because I'm going to give you what I am guessing is a very different perspective. So here goes. Now, the reason, well, let's back up a little. If you take a breath of air and another one, you are using some fresh air, which has energy in it. It doesn't mean that there's now less air, right? Now, when you have a parrot, and whether it's a little parrot or a big parrot, whether you've had the parrot for a little while or a long time, where are you going? This is Macy, my Cape parrot, who is getting down on my desk. Don't go on my desk. Regardless of how long you've had your parrot, one of the things that happens is you probably really bonded with your parrot. I guess if you're not bonded, then you're not going to worry about how to deal with your parrot's death. So given the assumption that you are highly bonded, one of the things that happens is that you really energetically connect. Some of your energy mixes with the parrot, which is a part of what creates that bridge between worlds for your parrot. That's how they bridge the parrot world and the human world. They are connecting with a different perception, a different energy, a different experience. So, you can feel that connection and you could feel the loss. It's a loss because something's gone. And since no part of your physical body is gone, but your parrot is gone, and yet it feels like something's gone, what's gone is, you could say, a piece of your heart, but it's really, in a way, a part of that energy which is gone, but it's not. It's no longer in the physical form. It's now just energy, and it's harder for us, obviously, to connect. And there's no more petting, and there's no more physical experience, which makes it really hard. So I say that because, first of all, just like the air around you, there isn't less air. There really isn't less of you because your parrot died, but it does feel like a part of you is missing. And I say this because I think it helps explain some of why it's so hard. So then the next question is, since you bonded so much, and since we open up more with animals, generally speaking, than we do with humans, because animals don't judge us, because they still love us, they're still authentic, and we feel like we can be more of who we are with them. We feel like we can really connect with them more. So we've given them a piece of our heart, so to speak, energetically. We've really opened up in some ways more to them because we feel more comfortable. How do you deal with their being gone now? This also is going to be probably a little different than what you may or may not have heard in the past about grief. Grief is really like any other feeling and experience that you have. It's just kind of all at once, because all of a sudden that piece of your heart is now gone, kind of thing. All of a sudden your buddy is gone, and it leaves some sort of hole in your life. And it actually is somewhat energetic. The only way to deal with that hole and shift your experience is to feel how you feel. If you have heard people talk at all about being in the now moment, about being in the flow, that's really what I'm getting to. When your parrot is gone and missing, it is painful. And the worst thing you could do is try to squeeze off the pain. One of the things we do with pain is we kind of tighten ourselves and we kind of make ourselves small. And we kind of tighten our hearts because we don't want to feel the pain. It's going to pain me if you eat my computer, so come back. She laughed at my joke. So What we need to do instead is we need to actually try to breathe into the pain. We need to feel the loss. You may feel like you have been robbed by life. For example, one person lost their golden conure, which they had just gotten, and they weren't told that it was sick. They kind of suspected it. I, of course, had the same exact thing. I was told that the conure was perfectly fine, and I'm going, look at that, look at that, look at that. I think there's something wrong with that conure, golden conure. But my daughter and I wanted to rescue it. We wanted the conure to be not alone, and we wanted to try to help, kind of thing. So I don't feel robbed, but my point is you might feel robbed. You might feel like life has cheated you. You might feel brokenhearted. You might feel a lot of different ways. Logic has nothing to do with grief. So let yourself be illogical and let yourself feel how that feels, because you're going to feel low. You're going to feel sad. You're going to maybe feel like you've been squished into this little tiny place where you're all alone, where you've been abandoned, where the world is just dark and small and terrible. And now I lost my parrot. And it is not a good place, but I promise you that if you feel that way, it'll get a little better, and then it'll get worse, but you will take a step or two like forward in grief, and then you might take a step back, but then you'll take a step forward, and you might take half a step back, and it will get better. On the other side of this grief, on the other side of all the pain you might feel and experience, is joy. I know this because you may or may not know I'm also a spirituality teacher, and I've been working with people for a long time. It's just parrots are my passion, and I just can't help myself, and I just have parrots, and I just love making videos about parrots. And so then I'm also a writer, so then it's like I had to write about parrots and that kind of thing. But I've worked with a lot of people, and they're always amazed when they come out the other side of whatever pain they're going through, and there is joy. If you have any hope or belief that that your parrot spirit is still around, then the other thing is you are so much more likely to get a sense, to just kind of feel like your parrot's around, to feel like you're maybe still just a little connected when you're on the other side of all that pain. Because one thing that happens with the pain is we kind of like want to wall off and squeeze off the pain, and you know, and it's out here, but the problem is it kind of just pinballs, or like a tennis ball, just kind of goes back and forth. And it will go away eventually, but you don't exactly process it, and it's just not as good as if you just let yourself experience the loss, let yourself cry, or let yourself curse, or let yourself like do whatever it is. Let yourself feel how you feel. Then when you come through to the other side, you start to remember the good things. You start to remember the cute things. You start to remember how sweet. You start to remember the love, and you start to connect more with the spirit. And you are far more likely to have an experience where you're going to feel more of your parrot spirit around you. If you believe that the energy of your parrot stays around you. I have heard so many people like that. I can't speak to. I cannot speak to it as far as I can't say that is absolutely 100% true for you. The way I could say absolutely 100% your parrot has a beak and it's a hookbill. I promise. But there have been so many people who bridge this world and the next world, and they say that people's animals stay with them. And I'm inclined to believe it, because I've also had experiences where when I've lost pets, they have come back to me, often in dreams, or I have a sense of them. And the bigger the bond, the bigger the connection. So the best way to get to that place and kind of turn the experience around is to really have felt how you felt, to feel sad, to feel the loss, to feel the pain. It will not hurt you in any way. It feels terribly painful, but it won't hurt you, and it will let you come through the other side. I also think that it's a wonderful thing to go through that process if you are considering getting a new parrot, because a new parrot will give you a new experience, and if there is such a thing as all is one, then some of your old parrot soul could could show up a little bit in your new parrot. I mean, it's an unlimited universe. We're starting to discover things like I heard that there are aliens on the news. I mean, all sorts of things are starting to come forward, all sorts of changes. The world is far richer than meets the eye, and therefore go ahead and be sad and get through the sadness, because it's better than being sad and feeling like you shouldn't be sad, feeling, like you're hurt and like your heart's really aching, and you shouldn't, because it's just a dumb animal kind of thing. Like, you really want to get through any thoughts like that, and you want to let everything go, just let everything fall to the wayside and let yourself feel the pain. My very first cape was, he was also sick, and his loss still hurts me. But when I really tried to get through the process and I really tried to connect with his spirit, it was so cool, because it just felt like his heart was so much bigger than him. So, it's hard. It's really hard, but you just want to really let yourself feel how you're feeling, and it will get better. Kalius still, takes a place in my heart, and I still miss him, but it's not near as bad as it had been. And he was just a really hard one for me for whatever reason, and it's because for whatever reason there was a bigger bond. So let yourself feel it and just get through it, and it will get better. If you have any questions about parrots, please be sure to comment below or on parrotbliss.com or the Facebook, Instagram Messenger, and I will catch you in the next video, where we'll do something more uplifting. Maybe tomorrow we will visit the Parrotlet Aviary. Thank you for tuning in today. Good night, Macy. And we'll catch you next time.